everyone has a different route, but I decided to go back to school, college, and I went to get my CIT degree, computer information tech, degree, and then I went and got my certifications, like.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the tranquil waters of HackerHarbor, where the conversations is always clear and the topics dive deep. You are listening to Cybersecurity Beyond Pentesting, Episode 1, featuring David Meece in HackerHarbor Podcast, the podcast that sails through the waters of cybersecurity and hacking. I am your host and captain Yash Gurasya, along with my co-host and captain Anugrah SR, would be navigating you through the ever-evolving world of cybersecurity. Let's set the sail on our first ever voyage. Today we have with us David Meece. So David is an award-winning cybersecurity professional and author of Red Team Operators Handbook. He has been steering ships away from the icebergs of cyber threats for over a decade. With over 1 lakh followers on LinkedIn, he is on a personal mission to help 1 lakh students all over the globe to get into cybersecurity. We would love to hear more about you as some glimpses of your journey. So, over to you, David.
All right, thank you, Yash, for having me on the podcast. It's an honor to be on your first episode, and I appreciate that. But yeah, a little bit about myself. I got into IT about 12 years ago is when I really first started. I started like from the ground, kind of like the ground up. It started like uh, tearing like computers, laptops apart, putting them, back together because I wanted to see like exactly how things, work. And so I started out, doing the repair side, and then did like virus removal, things like that. And I knew right away that that's what I wanted to do, professionally. So uh, everyone has a different route, but I decided to go back to school, college, and I went to get my CIT degree, computer information tech, degree, and then I went and got my certifications, like Security Plus, certifications, things like that. And so I decided to, and I also worked in help desk, system admin type roles. Also as a SOC. When I first got into cyber, I just dove in about four years ago in cyber, and I've not looked back. I just kept going, kept building the community. I love teaching as well. So I touched a little bit, little bit of everything. I started doing the networking, like the SOC analyst side, teaching side, research. Love research. That's how I started doing the red team operating handbook with my co-author Dr. Willie Sanders Jr. He has about 16, 17 professors that's like helping us like with the labs and things. There's so many moving parts, with the book, and we've done like hundreds of hours of research, different things on it. So yeah, that's just a little bit about myself. But yeah, I love helping the community and mentoring students over the last couple years on LinkedIn. So
Fantastic, fantastic, David. So now for our listeners who might be like new to this, could you explain what is like beyond pen testing, like mean in the context of cybersecurity?
yeah, yeah, I think one of the main things is like on pen testing or any role in cyber is you definitely want to find that focus. If you want to do like a pen testing certification of some type, just start out like really focus. But I do think, which everyone has a different path, but I do think that it's a good to get an understanding of the blue team defensive side, um, and IT networking, like the fundamentals before starting, into pen testing. Because I know a lot of students, which you can. I mean, there's no right or wrong way. I mean, but I just feel like people has a lot more students a lot more success starting out, getting a good fundamental grasp of the IT networking, things like that, and then going into the pen testing side.
So, yeah, I think many people, prefer getting into pen testing because they merely have a knowledge that doesn't exist much of the options available for them. So, I would like to just know the audience that there exist so many different roles, considering you can be SOC analyst, you can be threat hunter, you can be going to universities educating people. So there are lots of options available. It's just not about getting into pen testing. So moving forward, David, what's your cybersecurity story? How did you started into the field, and what was your passion, which let you get into the field after working for different roles in the different domain before actually starting into the cybersecurity.
Yeah, my passion was like defending like networks and helping defend, like protect people, from cyber attacks. I love the people aspect, like the human side, like this, especially protecting people against like social engineering attacks. That really piqued my interest, especially the red teaming, social engineering, and I wanted to protect people, even down to like the fundamental stuff, like phishing email attacks, because there's so many people. Because that's uh, one of the highest thing that people that they fall for the phishing attempts. So just bringing cybersecurity awareness to people, and especially like to even to schools, like young students that's just starting out, that don't know, especially and kids in cybersecurity. I really want to focus on helping everyone. But that's how that really piqued my interest, like the how all these attacks and everything worked as well. So I kind of wanted to learn, you know, like how the attacks everything worked. That I also want to, you know, protect the defend networks and people too. So it's a little bit how I got started. So I just dove in. Like I said, I've been doing IT for about 12 years, and about cyber for about four years now. I just dove in, and I've not looked back. I absolutely love it. I love the culture, you know, the people in the community. The community is what makes it so great as well in this industry. And anyone in cyber will know what we're, you know, talking about, because the culture and everyone wants to help each other. Um, you know, and that's another reason that I love cyber so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So uh, you might be getting like a hell lot of DMs in your LinkedIn or like other platforms asking can you help me hack my girlfriend's account, or can we hack some like bank, those kind of spammy kind of stuff. Apart from that, I want to ask you might be getting this common question like how can I get into cybersecurity, what can I do? So what would be your I won't say like typical mentor words, what would be your suggestion for someone who is looking into cybersecurity? Because someone came to ask me, my perspective is throughout the red teaming or the pen testing area, but still I would advise them look into other field and figure out your path. So what would be your take on it? What's your typical answer for this question?
Yeah, what I recommend is first, like, trying to pick a focus. You know, let's say like doing, like, if you're wanting to do blue teaming, I would recommend checking out, which I'm not affiliated with them, but let's defend. Let's Defend platform to get a feel for blue team, to see if that's something you enjoy. As far as red teaming, I always recommend, the first thing I recommend is try Hack Me for red teaming. So, and I tell people to go through like all the different paths that they have, you know, to see what you like. And as far as like GRC, there's a GRC like master class. I don't know, Gerald Ozier. He has a really good master class, and it's pretty affordable. And there's a lot of free resources. I recommend, especially starting out, not knowing what you want to go into. That's something else I always recommend people to all the free to do as much free stuff, you know, as you can, as good as it's, as long as it's good quality. Like, let's say Let's Defend, range force. I don't know if you're familiar with range force.
Yeah.
Rainforest is also something I recommend to students starting out, and that'll really give you a good baseline, and it's good quality. Security Blue Team also has a bunch of, I believe they have six free classes right now. I posted it. It's on my LinkedIn page. They're like, yeah, six free classes for blue teaming. So yeah, there's all kinds of, and I also recommend, for people starting out, like, maybe reach out to people that's, let's say if you want to get into SOC analyst, to become a SOC analyst, reach out to people maybe on LinkedIn and see if you can set up a 15-minute virtual coffee chat to maybe talk to them, you know, about the role, and see, you know, what a day-to-day looks like. Because I mean, because once you find out what it is, I mean, that may not be, or start doing it, that may not be something that you are interested in. So I always tell people to reach out to blue teamers, reach out to people, red team. If you're into compliance or risk analysts, reach out to people. You'd be surprised how many people that's actually like willing to help you on LinkedIn. I always tell students, just don't be afraid to reach out to people and ask, because the worst case is they can say no or don't respond, but most of the time there's a lot of people that will help, that's willing to help you. So, and also, as far as like what I said about reaching out to people, you can also get insights. Let's say if you want to get a job interview, let's say if you have a interview lined up, you can reach out to people in the company to see, get a day to day to kind of do some OSINT, and try to find your also like try to find target companies that you want to work for, or target roles. I guess that you could say that. But yeah, that's a little bit of what I recommend on that. Mhm.
So yeah, it's lot of things covered here. There is again one more debate that has been going on around cybersecurity, and every beginner that is starting out, someday or at some point feels, do I need to go for certifications, or is it not needed when I am focusing more on gaining practical skills, be it via try hack me, hack the box, or security blue team, any playground platforms that we have. It has been increasing day by day. So for let's say for a beginner like me starting out, I am not coming from a very rich background, or someone coming from a family of people from who has uh, gone to privileges. So for me, affording a certificate worth $200 or £200 or something is again thing to look for, because already I am paying something for my colleges, and then going for the certification, let's say any certification, it generally would be adding cost to me and adding a burden to me. So how do you what's your views on those particular things?
Okay, yeah, I would recommend, especially let's say you or someone just starting out in cybersecurity. This is just my opinion or take. I feel like the fundamental certs more like, let's say, networking and security plus, because there's so many job descriptions. I know for sure, in the I know United States, there's so many for DOD requirements for security plus. So I know there's a lot of. So I would highly recommend getting a good baseline certification to start with. So I would say security plus would be one of the things that I would start with, and then do like home labs. Do as many home labs, practical stuff on top of that. That way you keep gaining practical experience as well. Because I know you can set a lot of the labs up fairly, cheap or price, like in the cloud, or try hack me, something like that. Where you can set things up where it's pretty reasonable on the price.
So
Um,
yeah, I think it clears a bit of doubts we had while we should focus on it. what I personally suggest people to go for certification, not just because it's in the job description, but you get to learn through the bunch of experienced people that have curated the course. So you indirectly get to learn from the experts, rather you reaching out to them not having particular time to contribute to every individual. So we opt for certification because we want to learn new things and a different perspective of people, not because it is a part of a job description.
Right. I completely agree because I love like learning and education. I think it's really important, especially in this field, cybersecurity. As we know, it's just constantly learning. So we're students. There's no uh, there's no way to know everything because we're all students, no matter how many years of experience that you have. We're constantly that's what I talk about people, that says about imposter syndrome. I tell people that it's okay not to know everything, but the main thing is that we keep learning, and keep push, like what you said about certifications and just learning. Necessarily, even if you don't, I tell people, even if you don't have the money to get the certification, or you don't have the money to get certified, go ahead and read. Read the books like Security Plus, whatever it may be, whatever certification that you want to learn about. Read it, and you don't necessarily have to get the certification right away. I tell people to try to get the companies that they work for, if possible, to see if they'll help pay, for certifications, if and things like that. Just but education. It's like I went back to school. I just recently went back to school in 2021, and I got my master's degree in information systems management. So yeah, and I I do believe that education and certifications and stuff is key to staying on top of everything, learning as much as we can in anyway.
Yeah.
Great. So David, so you told like you have an extensive experience in the field, like more than 12 years. So I wanted to know, like, just out of curiosity, like how you find the shift in cybersecurity, like how the landscape have changed. There have been like lots of more information coming up. Like there are training courses. You have a like information like abundance now. So people are very confused what to study, like where to study. Like on the same topic, you get like lot of things, and it's very confusing. Like which one to start. Like when you start learning something, then something new come up, then your mind shift to that. So like there are like more options now, and apart from that, like the landscape also have like more training, like more certifications have come up. So how you see all this like throughout this like your career or like journey?
Yeah, it seems like, especially over the last couple years, as we know, like things like, of course, AI. There's so much that we need to learn, about AI. So I would say, especially if you're getting into security, let's say like right now, I would say to really focus on like the different how threat actors and things is leveraging AI, and do as much threat intelligence, as we can to arm ourselves, against the bad guys. But I would highly recommend, and I know companies like companies like CISA, they have like some different roles in AI that there's just so much changing as you said right now, and there's a lot of things that's more automated too nowadays than what we, so it's making it a little bit easier on us as the defenders, but it's making it harder too because it's making it easier on the adversaries. So it doesn't, so it's kind of it's like a double edged sword, but
Squad.
yeah.
So,
But
yeah, I think with the advancement of technologies that are coming up, day by day, uh, as you mentioned earlier, none of us are experts in the field. As everyone are learning at a stage wherein new things are coming up daily, and we need to keep updated because. Who knows, that might be the point of a 0 day, or something that might be the thing that impacts our organization. So we need to keep up it to it every day. So now I want to ask you about your journey from just merely some 100 200 followers to getting to a stage wherein you recently crossed 1 lakh followers. And I have been part of this journey. I think I got into your connections when you had somewhere around 50,000. So I have seen you growing from 50,000 to 1 lakh followers, and the impact that you are creating. So for a beginner starting out in the cybersecurity, what's your take on the things like why should they be investing in personal branding, or what should why should a cybersecurity professional or a beginner starting into cybersecurity invest time in their personal branding?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would highly recommend someone starting out like to maybe post on LinkedIn, maybe once every week, like make a post, especially cybersecurity. Someone trying to personal brand or get into the field. Maybe I tell people to write about. Let's say if you have a home lab you're doing and try hack me, write about that. Document your work. Um, or if you use the blog Medium to write blogs, and then write about what you're learning about day to day, and then post it on LinkedIn. And then I also highly recommend that you connect with leaders. Leaders in the industry. Maybe pick if you're new, maybe pick like 5 to 10 leaders in the industry in a particular field that you may want to go into. Let's say if it's pen testing or SOC analyst, whatever, CISOs, whoever it may be. But yeah, pick 10 people, and then I recommend that you interact with that person like at least 2 to 3 times every week, on LinkedIn, and just keep building your that gives you more visibility, and just keep building your personal brand, and just keep putting yourself out there. When I first started, I started volunteering. So I highly recommend volunteering. I started volunteering for cyber supply drop. It's I don't know if you're familiar. That's been
Yeah.
about 3 years ago. I started writing cybersecurity blogs for cyber supply drop, just volunteering. and this was before I got my SOC analyst position, and I would volunteer. I would write on LinkedIn every once a week. I would write articles. Like I would write about, let's say it could be anything. It could be anything that you're learning, about security, and I would like upload it once every week to LinkedIn. I did that for about 1 year straight. I think it's just being like consistent. I think consistency is like key because that's going to get you more visibility, and just keep reaching out, commenting on, and being thoughtful. I tell people to be sure to do thoughtful comments whenever you do, and that really puts your name, out there. So, and that's how I was able on it. That's really how I was able to get into cybersecurity. Hiring managers and stuff, they reached out, recruiters to me, because I was so visible and like documenting my work, and they could see, everything I was documenting. So I tell people that really helps you, like personal brand. Be sure to stand out, because there's only like one, I believe. I just did the research, and there's only 1%, 1 to 2% of people that consistently creates content on LinkedIn. So it really stands out if you do it like every week. So, and that's how I got my first job in cyber. Is someone just, a lot of times, people say it's not like who it's like who knows you, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. So, and it really helps get your foot in the door, especially starting out. So I can't recommend LinkedIn enough to people.
Oh, great, great. Very insightful. Like, so, as you said, like consistency is the key. And coming to the next important thing, like we are all part of like important of community. So when I like came into cybersecurity field, like I was not from a technical background. So I came to this field, like communities helped me a lot. So I want to know like what's your take on like community, like being part of a community or building a community, and how all that like scenarios work out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely think it's very important to build the community. Just like for instance, I build a community where I done a 100-day cybersecurity challenge. It's Cyber Tech Day, 100 days of cyber challenge. And I started out about 2 years ago doing that, and now it's up to, I think, 3,000 people has joined it. But I just keep posting it every week because I want people to interact with each other, and build the community, and document. Another reason I made the challenge is that way they can document for 100 days straight, and that really gets you more like what I mentioned earlier about visibility and networking with leaders, in the field, and decision makers, I guess you could say, on hiring and things. So, um, but I feel like that it's also, just building community in general to help each other learn. So yeah, I love community building. I'm also I'm just getting ready to release a community a book. It's a it's called Stronger Together. It's women in cybersecurity. We've been working on it for about two years on and off. We've got over 100 stories, women's stories, like how they got into cyber. And then we have male allies, and then we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, things like that in the book, because I think all of that, is important. No matter what community that you're in. So we're hoping that we can get that out to as many people. That comes out June the 4th will be the release date on the book, and all we decided to do like 100% of the proceeds will go to women in cybersecurity scholarships to help the next generation of women in cyber. So
Yeah, that's really great to know about, because I also have been part of a process wherein I got my first job being in the community. I was writing this blog thing, publishing it on the media, and that was the proof point wherein I got to uh, tell the recruiter that I can write blogs, I can be a good technical writer, and that's how I landed my first job. And I firmly believe, not when we think about cybersecurity, not many people would like to opt those types of role wherein it is technical writer, or policy writing things, or business continuity things. So that's great to know. How keeping a consistency can lead us to where we are. Can you just let us know about David that not many people knows? Someone with guitar in the background, traveling to the different places, and enjoying the world, as we say cybersecurity. Beyond pen testing. Here, I would say the world beyond cybersecurity. So, could you tell us a bit about it?
I'm sorry about the I was having issues on the sound. Could you repeat that question one more time?
So, could you please tell us about David beyond cybersecurity? Someone with guitars in the background. I can see two, three in the background, and you traveling to the places you love traveling. Could you tell a bit about David? That is what after office hours is.
Oh yeah, about traveling to different places and things beyond. Uh,
Yeah,
so-
beyond
uh,
cybersecurity.
oh yeah. I definitely love traveling. I love like seeing the different mountains, places that has like snow on top of the mountains. We love like all kinds of you know I've been to quite a few places. I've not got to travel. I'm wanting to travel to different countries possibly next month, but we have 40 48 states here in the I've been to probably 30 different states. So I've got to travel quite a bit. I love the sightseeing. Historical sites is one of my favorite things to go to. Different seeing historical things. Things like that. Traveling to the ocean, beach, just different places.
Right. So as we all know, like cybersecurity is one field like of where we have to be like up to date. Like there's new things coming up like every day. My question is like, in this particular field, or like any other field, like how do you deal with like burnouts or like the imposter syndrome, those kind of issues?
Oh yeah, I can definitely see. I can talk about burnout. I think anyone that's been in IT or cyber, especially let's say coming from a SOC, like a SOC analyst aspect. I was doing the SOC security, just looking through like log files, different things like that, networks, files, scanning files like all day, like 8, 10 hours a day. So yeah, it gets that part of it. It can lead to burnout. So I tell people to try to take care of their mental health. Try to, like what I was talking about, maybe try to travel some to relax. Maybe if you can go to the travel to the beach or ocean, whatever it may be, to try to relax. Play video games. That's another stress relief that I like to, whenever I get the time, to play. But yeah. But I always tell people to try their best to find time to out of work. I know that we go to work and then we're also like studying cybersecurity on top of work, but it's kind of hard to find that balance sometimes, for sure.
With that being said, we have been discussing this on LinkedIn for a quite time now, and I personally have been advocating for it. Importance of dragging that untouched topic of mental health in cybersecurity. So, what is your views on how important it is to for every employer to to be able to give it to their employees, or to be able to provide that training or that focus on mental health, so that the productivity, or the amount of work that an employees would be able to give back to the companies stays at a level, rather than a person being part of burnout or imposter syndrome or any mental health issue would definitely not be able to increase the productivity. So what's your take on it, and what is your views on whether people should start focusing on their mental health?
But yeah, I think cybersecurity, as far as like the employees, anyone that's working in a business, like even like finance, let's say finance, HR, um, all different departments. I feel like the cybersecurity, is like everyone's responsibility. And I feel like, sharing information is like really really important, as we do, in cybersecurity, sharing like threat intelligence information between. I think it's important to really have good communication between red teams and blue teams, like the SOC analyst and the pen testers. That way everyone's on the same page and can help. Collaboration, I think, is really really important to. But it is really hard to find that balance of, because like what you said, sometimes people, they do get imposter syndrome. And it's hard, sometimes hard to overcome that. But I think it's important for managers to encourage their employees, and to take the time to set aside. even if it takes a little bit more time, I think it's important for managers of companies to make that time if a employee does need a little bit of extra help, or if they need to learn, because a lot of times people learns differently. They might learn by reading, they might learn by watching someone hands on, or seeing it. Visual learners. So I try to always keep that in mind. Too. So.
So, with that being focused upon, I also tell this on the platforms or the people I interact with, that you should speak about your mental health issues, just like as you speak when you have a fever or any other diseases you have. So the very important thing is to speak about it, so that the people around you knows that you are suffering from something, and you get a better treatment from it, right?
Exactly.
Mhm. Right, because no one knows if you don't say anything about it. So yeah, I love how you speak on the lesser talked about subjects. Yes, I think it's important to always talk about mental health, whether it's mental health stress at the job, or mental health, like the someone that's struggling with maybe like schizophrenia, bipolar, something like that. I think we should treat it just like any other. Like what you said. I mean, it should be normalized
Yeah.
more than what it is.
Uh, so David, it's a cliche question. Let me come to it. So, if you had the opportunity or the chance to meet your younger self, the young David who is like setting off his journey into cybersecurity, what's one piece of advice you would be giving him?
Like the biggest, you said the biggest piece of advice. Like what would be the main thing, right? For getting into cybersecurity.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah. The biggest piece of advice I would give is to, I'll say two things.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard but the biggest things of advice I would say is to, number one, be willing to learn, and continuously learn. And number two is network, network with people, because and do and learn as much as you can about whatever role that you want to get into, whether it be practical experience, as a technical side, or maybe it may be governance, risk, compliance. You want to learn the business side, but the biggest thing I'd say is just to education, just to be willing to learn, put yourself out there, and be willing to network and talk to people, because I think that's two, three, the main things.
Almost all the same thing I would say to my younger self also. Because as you said, whatever we have talked about, like I have been one of those person who started out doing this like 100 days of challenge, which gave me the visibility, which connected with me with like lots of people, and like which eventually helped me to take up challenges, and people reach out to me like are you looking for a job, and like getting into my first job itself. So it's been everything like you said, like being I like look back into myself itself. So I guess lots of people have like lot of stories to say like this.
I'm really glad that you enjoyed the challenge, and I I'm glad to hear that it helped you, and just networking with people. It's really nice. So
So I think it's time to get back to the basement. Uh, get back to the dock. So thank you, David, for sharing your insightful experience with us, sharing about personal branding. What cybersecurity beyond pen testing means, and then uh, sharing those important lessons through your stories that you particular have been part of. And I would like to thank all the people watching this show for joining us for an inaugural episode of cybersecurity beyond pen testing. We would like to discuss more on this topic in the upcoming episodes of the podcast. And let's keep upgrading ourselves. Let's talk about mental health. Let's focus on our personal branding. This is what I can summarize from what this podcast episode was about. Until next time, keep your sales high and your data locked down. This is Yash Gurusya, your captain, signing off from Hacker Harbor.